G'day punters, welcome back to the MacBet Early Move. This week we're previewing the Lough Stakes at Doomben. I'm your host James Milner, and joining me is pro punter John Mcleod. John, are you heading to the switch today?
Yes. It's, there's a big storm coming this afternoon as well, so it's just going to be a matter of how this track's going to play, but I'm expecting it to get away from the fence a little bit, but we'll just see how much rain we do get. It's pretty hot here, muggy, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, December started pretty sunny, and it's just been a bit wet and dreary since then. We saw the return of Eagle Farm on Saturday, and we obviously had that meeting there on Wednesday as well. How do you think the track's going there?
I think that, like it's always been the case, when the rain comes, it's going to play really well as far as, they're winning from everywhere, and that's fine. It's going to be really interesting to see when we have no rain, to see how it plays. Like on Wednesday, they started to get into it a little bit out in the middle of the track and out further. But we had some rain, and it's not to be unexpected, but I don't think the track has played too bad so far. In the two meetings we've seen. So, but the crunch is going to be when we have dry weather and see how it plays. If it's going to play really hard and firm like it had been a couple of months ago.
And we tipped profit last week. You were worried it might not like the Eagle Farm track. I know you probably reviewed it already in the weekly review video, but do we want to just give a quick recap on what sort of happened there in the Gateway?
Yeah, I think as far as profit goes, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, yep.
Yeah, I think it is a real horses for courses track, that's for sure. It really happened again yesterday. There was a lot of horses that they either handle it or they don't, and profit had been on it a couple of times and sort of just been a little bit average on it. I was just hoping that the track was a little bit different. It was just a real strange run race. The leaders got away with it, and I was expecting the horses to run on, and they just didn't get into the race. So it was a bit disappointing sort of thing how that worked out. But the whole day was very hard to work out, because you're going into the day thinking that mid-track is going to be the spot. And after the first, we thought that's going to be the case, but really it became on pace, and there was a real wind there on Saturday, and it got up strongly midday, probably about race 3 and onwards.
Yep.
And that played a little bit of havoc with a lot of these races, and if they didn't work into the wind down the back, well then the leaders got away with murder, and if they went too hard in the back, well then the back markers could run on. So it was really just dependent on pace, which nearly every race is dependent on that.
For sure. And we're back to Doomben this week. The rail's in the 3 metre position, and looking like it's going to be a heavy 8. Where do you want to be on Saturday?
Probably mid-track. That 6th lane is going to be the spot to be. They're going to be coming out there, and as the day goes on, they'll be getting away from that inside part, I would think, for sure, and they probably might be doing it early doors, I would say, but definitely after a few races, if they stay up against the fence, well then the track will get better and better as you get out. It was a bit, like a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was one of those Friday meetings, and the fence was playing not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to watch it, but just take it for granted that I think the fence is going to go off a little bit. They might be able to lead and win if they spear out, come off the fence and get out to the right spot. I think there's nothing wrong with leaders spearing out there, but it's just a matter of whether they can get out there.
For sure, and we'll have to wait for the lucky last, race 9, for the Lough Stakes. The feature race for the day over the 1350. The favourite at the moment is Outback Barbie. Got Rod on board. Race 3 wide last start, ran 3rd. You sort of you put out a small bet on it as well, I remember.
Yeah. I thought it looked really well on the yard, and it raced very good. First up, sat 3 wide on a pace that really didn't shouldn't have been able to handle it, and ran on quite well. It raced like it looked. The problem that she's got here is I've always, we've backed it a few times over the 1350, thinking it's going to be the one that's going to be strong at the finish. And she just seems to loom, and just 1350s is a real worry the last little bit for her. And now that the track's going to be wet, well, it's going to be more playing like a 1450, 1500 metre race, really. And they're not going to be going slow here. They're going to be rolling along with Emerald Kingdom in the race, and Epic Girl's got speed, and Tembo's mate, he just lost the plot there the other day. I think just pushing so hard to get around into that position, it was a bit of an ask that he set Tembo's mate last time. So just not sure whether he'll do that or not on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we've got Bossy on Soxagon. It's $9.50 at the moment. Curry trained out of barrier 14. Can't seem to catch it.
No, we were strong on it the other day, and I was surprised where it got to. Like Soxagon and Harrovian were together in the run. No, Harrovian was actually in front of Soxagon, which if you said it prior to the race, you'd say that's 1,000,000 to 1. And once it was there, it just didn't have the advantage that you were thinking it was going to have. And they went along quick, which helped both the horses. And I just got to drop off a little bit. I don't think it's I've got it about the price it is, but I was a bit disappointed the way the last little bit didn't really want to finish nor hit the line. So I was disappointed in its run the other day, that's for sure.
Red Chase is another one in the market, currently $5.50. Ran second in the recognition stakes. Do you think $5.50 is justified?
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit short in this type of race, at these weights. I think it's going to get a nice run. I thought when it won a couple of starts ago that I thought it just didn't look right in the yard, even though it won. I was surprised. I thought it was sort of, just not looking the best. But then the other day, it didn't look as bad as what it did when it won. And it raced okay. It didn't go too bad. But I just think this class of race, I think it might find it out. 9-gate Red Chase. I think he'll get it. She'll get it, or he'll get into the right race, get into the right spot.
Yep.
But I just think when the pressure goes on in this type of class, it just might be found out. So.
Okay. Neagh over $8.50. Ran 8th in the Mooloolaba Cup. I'd like to call it St. Nick in the red and white silks. Might be Christmas come early if this thing hits the line. You seem to have a top pick.
I didn't think of that with the red and white. Hopefully it's all present, so I think it's very hard to beat. I think it's the one to beat. You take a line out of the horse we backed the other day, Hard Empire or whatever it was.
Yep.
It ran on as good as it.
Yep.
And now they went to the mile the other day and took the blinkers off it, and he got held up, and he didn't really want to hit the line the last little bit, but he got a couple of bumps and he just got terrorised a little bit in the run. And, today, now the blinkers go back on, it's back to the 1350. The wet is, good for it. Solid speed up front. I think it'll win. I think the $8.50 is just incredible odds. You go through this race, and there's really only Tie Zone, Nick and Over, and then they're probably Group 2 type of horses. Those two, right? Maybe Group 3s, whereas the rest of them are listed race horses. Outback Barbie's always just about a listed race horse. Chapton Verse the same. You got open class horses away from them, and I think Nick and Over drops 1.5 kilos in the weights and everything, and blinkers back on. Just what I'm saying, the speed on, wet, just looks very B Stewart on, riding like a freak.
Yep.
Can't see too many holes in his armour, this horse. So
wow.
I think it's very hard to beat.
$8.50 to find out early doors. What sort of price do you have it rated? Are you willing to share that?
$3. $3. And
yeah, right.
And I actually could have had it shorter.
Yeah, right,
so,
right.
I'm just going off his run the other day, 2 starts ago. I'm forgetting about the run at Sunshine Coast. And as I said, Hard Empire sort of franked that form.
Yep.
So I can't see any reason why Nick and Over can't frank it as well.
Fantastic. Strong tip there for the 2, Nick and Nova. That's race 9 at Doomben on Saturday. That's about all from us, guys. A quick update for the late mail yard service. We've been sending out a sheet with sort of comments on each runner and the units there in Excel form rather than an audio. John, you've sort of texted me this morning. You might jump back to the audio so everyone can get a better sort of picture of the race and how you're playing.
Yeah, I've had a few people come up to me at the races and everything can sort of say that they don't get a feel of how strongly I'm feeling about different horses or why I'm not tipping them. It's sort of, it was, and I could see their point. You know, I thought the yard might help as far as what, you know, seeing if they're light or whatever, but there is a little element missing there, and in probably hearing my voice and sort of saying, I think I like this horse because of this reason. So we're going to go back to it. It's worked in the past, and we tried to get away from it just because it was starting to get a little bit late as far as how, you know, how late we actually gave it out. And so I try to get it a bit earlier, but I'm struggling to do it just because once I look at the yard, I've got to come back, have a look at the prices, see what they are, and then make a decision. So there is a little bit of a delay there, and then I've got to do the audio and then send it. So there is, but you can be guaranteed.
And you need a bet as well.
Well, that's right. You can guarantee that I'm not betting before I send it because I haven't got time. So I'm actually doing it, sending it, and then I'm betting. So you guys will be getting it at the same time that I'll be starting to bet, or if I haven't bet it already earlier, and then, you know, in the morning or whatever. So
yeah, right. Yeah, it's all about time. We don't like making sort of heaps of changes like this, obviously, but there's just not enough time between them sort of leaving the yard and loading up into the gates. But I think that's a good change. I prefer the audio myself as well. It gives me a decent idea of what's happening. But we still send through the units, and you're not sending additional units. You're just sending the total units for the race.
Yes, I'll be I'll be just saying whatever the units I put down there will be what I'm thinking at the time, no matter what was sent in the morning. Yeah. What I'm sort of thinking that the unit should be. Yeah.
And our weekly results come out each Thursday. We put them on our Twitter at MacBet Tips. Those are updated, and those are basically the morning bets only. We don't track the late ones, but I'd say you're getting a bit more value there on the audio stuff as well. So that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's about all from us, guys. Good luck this weekend. Good luck today, John. We'll talk to you soon.
Good. Thanks, James. See ya.
See ya.